everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Cara here. So I had this canvas that I was practicing my paint pour techniques on, and I wanted to turn it into something sort of like a journal page. So I'd done a page before with an image that I'd drawn, which is the Goth girl, and I thought I would now do this page again, but on this big canvas. So in the original, I think it was in my Dina Wakley ledger journal, and I really liked that text element in the background. So what I did was I ripped up some big book pages, and started just randomly sticking those to my page with some matte gel medium. Sorry, not to my page, to my canvas. So used to doing this in a journal. So to my canvas with just some matte gel medium, just so that I could get that kind of text element in the background again, because I really did like that. So this is what I'm doing here, and I just sort of let that dry, and then I'm gonna go over it and sort of blend that into that background a bit more. The Goth girl image that you will see at the end is one I designed myself. I've been drawing quite a lot on my tablet on Procreate, really getting into it because I love how I can either keep the sketchy lines that I draw or, you know, erase them with a click of my little pen. And I'm really finding it easier to draw on my tablet, knowing that I can edit and, you know, change shapes, etc., rather than with pen and paper. So anyway, it's a little bit about the sketch that you're going to see in a little bit. So whilst I was drying that, I was just picking out my colours. So I've got some Dina Wakley media paints here, and I'm using the reductive stenciling method. So just splashing some paint on where over those pieces of text paper, and then using a damp baby wipe to rub through the stencil, which means I'm getting the negative rather than the positive, or the positive rather than negative, the other way around anyway. And that kind of blends those nicely into my background without me, you know, having to repaint the whole background or whatever, and makes them feel like they belong. So that's what I did there. I can't remember the name of the stencil off the top of my head right this second. However, I will put it in the description box below as always. I just dry off each layer because I want to add some more stenciling and stamping to this, not page, to this canvas. So yeah, I'm just grabbing out some of my Faber-Castell paints, I think they are. I think they're just Faber-Castell acrylics. They're little travel size ones that I have with me. Again, I will list all the colours that I use in my description. This stencil that you see me using now is actually a stencil I designed myself. So, you know, if you wanted to get this effect, just use any heart stencil or create your own. I don't know if you've got the means to do that, but it's a fun thing to do. I've created so many stencils. I really love them. So, and then this Bubbles stencil is part of a Tracy Scott stencil. Again, I will put the code to that below. What I tend to do when I'm stenciling or stamping is go in areas of threes. So as you can see, I've got 3 clear spots on my page where I am stenciling, and then I'm overlapping my stenciling to make sure that it doesn't look like it's plonked on a page. You know, it makes it cohesive and flow throughout my my canvas. I've just added some white splatter using a paint pen. It's not a Posca, it's actually a Staedtler Lumo colour, I think they're called. So I just added some white splatter, and now I've gone and grabbed a fluorescent pink. This is also a Dina Wakley paint, and I'm just sort of smearing that on a little bit with my fingers. Now, the end photo of my page looks considerably darker than this does. The end photo is a real sort of true colour match to what I've got. I don't know why this looks so light. I think it might have just been the sunlight coming through, making my colours look really light here. But you'll see in the finished photo the kind of real brightness that is in this page. Now I'm just using a blending brush and some archival ink to go through that stencil to give me some black in the background, which will give me nice contrast when I stick my Goth girl on. Now I'm adding some dots, again with black ink pad, just a little stamping here, there, keeping it to my 3 areas and always overlapping what I've done before. What I will say is I really enjoyed this process, and I'd already drawn 2 different types of Goth girls, one with plaits in her hair, which is going to go on this canvas, and another one with like a short pixie cut hair style. So what I did after this recording was I created exactly the same kind of background but using purples, and at the end you'll see both the canvases side by side, one with the long haired girl and one with the pixie haired girl, and yeah, I think they work quite well together. So yeah, you'll see those. This is just some more splatter. I'm using white Posca this time to get some sort of more vibrant white splats, and I've also got a pink Posca that I'm doing some splatter with. So I am going to add the Goth girl on, but what I did realise is that when I'd finished painting, because someone knocked on my door, I forgot to press record afterwards, so you are just going to see the finished product in a minute. And as I said, the colours look very different. So there it is, and here comes the purple one that I told you about that I created. So I hope you enjoyed watching this, and I'll see you again on Friday at 5 for your Friday Art Escape. Bye bye.